Before James Bond and Jack Bauer, there was Leutrell Mike Osborne Sr. No, he wasn't a super spy, but he played a critical role in supervising CIA agents worldwide. In fact, Osborne was one of the first African Americans to hold such a management position. It was the 1950s, and Superman was on TV.
Up in the sky, it's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
The Cold War with the Soviet Union dominated the global scene. Two images that would define the future of Leutrell Osborne. Oh, and his mom worked for the CIA.
Well, from what I understand, my mother had a clerical position, and what she would allow me to know was enough for me to get interested in deciding that I wanted to be a spy. And that was basically how the story began. I was all of 12 years old at the time.
His mother, Ella Grisby Motley, was working for the CIA in the National Photographic Intelligence Center. Osborne says that Superman image and his mother's job left no doubts where he wanted to be.
By the time I was 17 years old, I had decided that I was going to the agency, and I taught myself photography, how to take pictures and how to enlarge them.
Those self-taught skills would land Osborne his dream job 5 months after high school as a photographer for the CIA. That was in 1957. His mother had left the agency by then, but never before had an African-American woman and her son both worked for the CIA. Osborne would get a college degree, move up in the CIA, and eventually become one of the first African-American spy managers.
I was a case officer. I supervised CIA agents and assets in over 30 countries on 3 different continents.
Osborne says he became only the 10th African-American in that role.
In the operations division, that's where all the case officers are, the supervisors of spies. Everything is set around basically case officers because they are the kings, and they are the people in the agency that make things happen as far as collecting intelligence and running what we call clandestine operations.
One of his biggest cases, he says, was one of his first, turning a foreign official into a spy for the United States. But first, he had to learn to speak Spanish. Today, he speaks 4 languages.
In the business, to recruit an intelligence officer is big stuff. So that to be my first successful assignment, I was really, it went to my head. It didn't go to my head. I felt good about it.
Years later, during the Reagan administration, he worked on policy toward Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi.
The White House wanted to know whether the Libyan government, Gaddafi, could mount a successful assassination attack on the President of the United States. And the request trickled down to you know who? Me. That was what a lot of people would know would be a very significant experience when you can respond to a request from the White House.
Asked what he cherishes most about his days as a CIA operative, and the answer has nothing to do with being a spy. While stationed in Europe in 1964, he was able to attend the awarding of the Nobel Peace Prize to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
The Nobel Peace Prize, the diploma, and the gold medal.
Afterwards, Osborne spent an hour with the civil rights leader.
He was just as cool and calm, and he treated me just like I was a big shot. And I was all of 25 years old. He was 35.
With 27 years of CIA service behind him, Osborne's now a security consultant. Any advice for those with an interest in being a spy?
Don't be afraid and don't take no for an answer. Don't let anybody tell you can't learn enough language, you don't know how to do things. All those things that people tell you, don't believe it, because it's people trying to keep you out of the good stuff.
And still to come this morning, bomb after bomb ripping...